What is up, guys, and welcome back to the Doc Mac Car channel. This is my newly purchased 2006 BMW 330i. Now the car has done around 75,000 miles, and with 75,000 miles does come a lot of wear and tear on the paintwork as well. So if you look around the car, there's a lot of imperfections around here. As you can see, there's some imperfections here, as you can see, and there's a huge scratch right here, right there as well, all around the vehicle. Alright guys, so as you can see, the trunk area, it is quite worn out and it's filled with lots and lots of scratches. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to wet sand some of the scratches out, and then I'm going to go around and compound it. So what I'm going to use today is the Roops 1500, the Roops 2500, and the Manzina 3-in-1 polish. And then I'm going to go over it with the glaze, which will be for the next video, so make sure to stick around. So without further ado, let me get into it. Alright guys, so what I have here is the 1500 grit Roops, and I've got a Chemical Guys orange color pad and the product applied to it. Now I'm going to apply to the vehicle. Alright guys, so when you're first going to apply to it, you need to put it down to speed 1, and then what you want to do is you want to just dab it on. Now hopefully this would make a difference in the paintwork, and then what you're going to do is you're going to just spread it like this so that you are priming the pad as well. Alright. And what you want to do, guys, is you want to go in 50-50 passes. And now what you want to do is you want to put it onto speed number 6. Alright guys, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it to dry, and then I'm going to buff it out. Alright guys, we are now ready to buff it out to see if there is any difference or not in the paintwork. Okay, looks much smoother. And this is only the first pass, guys. Alright, there's a slight improvement. Yeah, the paintwork is definitely much smoother now, guys. Okay guys, so I've done half of the bonnet now, and it definitely feels and looks much better compared to this side. This one isn't for the faint-hearted, but as you can see, there's a lot of deep scratches right here. So I'm going to wet sand it down with 3000 grit. check our work area. As you see, the scratch has become a lot less severe now. Now that's hazing, that's going to be normal. The scratch is almost non-existent now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to spray it on the scratches here, and then I'm going to, there you go, you can see the scratch right here. You don't want to cut too deep, so you want to just make sure that you cut just enough. Now I would suggest that you use a sponge and wrap it around the sponge so that you have even pressure around. Now you can't get rid of all of the scratches, but you can try as much as you can. Okay, this scratch is a little bit too deep. Yep. Alright, so I'm just going to buff out all of the scratches. There you go, guys. The trunk lid looks considerably better now. I know there's still scratches, but we need to go over the 2500 and then the 3-in-1 polish, and hopefully it should look much better than it is now. Alright guys, I've now gone over with the 2500 grit Roops polish, and then now I'm going to buff it down. As you can see, it's starting to bring out the shine. Doesn't show that well on camera, but I can see it really is starting to bring out that shine. Starting to see the reflection from the trees. The process of applying the 2500 is exactly the same, but you've got a buff in between applies. Yeah, there you go, guys. You can see it's much better now. Alright, gonna do the rest of the car. Alright guys, as you can see, there was a scratch right here. So what I've done is I have just sanded around this area a little bit, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to polish it down. Alright guys, so now I've gone through the car with the 1500 and the 2500 Roops polish. Now I'm going to do the manzina 3-in-1 polish. Alright guys, so now I'm just putting the manzina 3-in-1, dab it down. You can start off at speed 1, but I just do speed 6. Alright guys, there you have it. So the car has now been compounded and polished. So I had used the Roops up to 1500 grit scratch removal and the Roops up to 2500 grit scratch removal. Then I went over with the manzina 3-in-1 and gave the car a quick wash down to get rid of the excess polishing dust. So as you can see, there's a very huge improvement, but it's by no means perfect. But because the paint is 15-year-old paint with 75,000 miles on it, I think it came out pretty well. Most of the scratches have been removed. Now you did have some scratches here. I've already sanded that one down. As you can see, you can only see it very lightly. I didn't want to sand it down too much because it's older paint, and sometimes when you sand it down you could burn through the clear coat and then it'll look much more ugly than that. So that is a significant improvement. As you can see here, this particular scratch, this one is past the clear coat, so I can't fix that one. Anyway, overall I think it really came out looking good. As you can see, the trunk lid is now much better. There's a few spots where there's a little bit of scratches, but because the trunk may have been painted in the past, now you do not want to sand down too much, so sometimes it's better to live with a little bit of scratches, but it doesn't look as bad as it did when I got the car. So overall the car looks fantastic, and there's been a huge improvement in the vehicle. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to do a coating on the vehicle. Make sure to check out that video in the description below, and I'll put a link to that one as well. Alright guys, so don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and also share this with your friends.